Fine. Welcome back, learners. So, let's move on to the guided practice session on for loops. So, in the video session where I discussed about the looping constructs, I had given you an example using the repeat statement. So, in this guided practice session, I'll just give you a feel of how to use these for loops and where you can use and in which manner you can use these for loops. Fine. So, before we move on into that, so first I would like to say that when I say I am going to use a looping construct which is going to use a for loop. In that case, the condition, so in case of while and all we had few conditions, but in case of for, if you note the exact number of iterations or you want to restrict the number of iterations based on something, you can go with the for. So in based on something I said, so the usual methodology is when you are going to use a for, you have to give some set of values based on which your for will execute. Okay. So those values how we are going to give. Always the set of values or the number of iterations should be based on a vector. So your input has to be a vector. So let's see how it is. So first let's move on to a vector. Simple program we will start with a for loop. I am not going into a complex methodology or a complex logic behind, just a very simple statement we will start. So I am going to create a vector. Suppose I say I am going to create a vector which is called as numbers. Fine. So it is going to be some numeric vector. So we have seen the miscellaneous operator which will help me to create a vector like this. Okay. So I say I am going to create a vector starting from 1 and ending with 100. Okay, fine. Yes. So now what I am going to do is I am going to run this for loop for so many number of times. So how many number of times? Suppose I say I want to go for printing all these numbers one after the other. So usual methodology what we would be doing, we will say print of numbers. Fine. When I say like this, print of numbers. So you will get it like this. But I don't want this. I want something to be printed in a formatted manner, one after the other. I don't want it to be displayed like a vector. Okay. So in that case, what I can do? I can use these for loops. A very simple example. Now I can say for and I say, see you need not initialize your counter variable as you do in the other programming languages. So now I say for I. So what is this I? I am saying that it is going to take some value from this set of vector. Okay. So I say for this I in this set of vector, this for loop has to execute. So how many times it is going to execute? 100. Fine. Yes. So what I am going to do for I and I say in for I in and I give the name of the vector. Fine. So what does this mean? For I. So it is going to take each value from this vector numbers and each value is going to be assigned to I, and for how many our values I have in the vector, for those many times the for loop is going to execute. Fine. Yes. So in decision making itself, we saw when I press enter, if I get a plus symbol here, what does it mean? It means that your statement has not ended. So I open a curly brace as usual, saying that these statements has to be executed within this particular loop. Fine. Okay. So now what I want to print it in a formatted manner. So obviously when I say a formatted manner, we have to use the statement cat. Okay. So I say cat and I say I. So that has to be printed. Fine. So I say I is the number. Okay. Yes. So or I can say I is an element of, I say element of vector numbers. Okay. And I say I am going to have a slash n, which is again one escape sequence, and I press and I go for closing the curly brace. Just a very simple statement. Instead of wanting me to print like this, I go for printing it in a formatted manner. So see here, you have got so many output, right? So till 100 it is. starting from 1 till 100. See, it is saying 100 is an element of vector numbers. So it is printed as you want it. Fine, if you want, I can show that. See here. So it is printed from 1, it is printing. So this was the code which we executed. It started with 1 and see it is ending with 100. Fine. Just in few seconds you have got 100 outputs. Fine. So this is the magic behind your for loop. So this I have shown you an example for a numeric vector. Suppose I say I have a character vector. Can I use a for loop? Yes, of course you can use a for loop. So let's create one character vector. So I don't want to overload you here. So I go for clearing the console and I say I'm going to create a character vector. So I say some neighbors. Okay, and I say I'm going to create a character vector with some countries who are neighbors of India. So I say some Nepal and I say Sri Lanka. Fine, and sorry, yes, Sri Lanka. Then I say China. Then I say Tibet. Fine, then Bangladesh. So you can have how many other values you want. I restrict here. Okay, so I have created one character vector. See, it is a character vector. It is created with the name. The variable name is neighbors. I have created. So if I have to print this, if I print what I will print, I will just say print neighbors. So again it will print like a character vector one after the other. So if I don't want that, yes, I can go with a for loop. As I said, you need not go for initializing your iterator variable. So I say for n in, directly you can use the character vector neighbors. Yes, so because that is a vector. So you can use any vector within your for loop. Fine. So yes, I have used this character vector. Initially we saw an example where we used the numeric vector. Now we are using a character vector. And I say cat of, and I want to say that country, right? So I say n, I say that is the neighbor of India. Okay, and I say slash n and I close my brace. See, you are getting Nepal is the neighbor of India, Sri Lanka is neighbor of India, Tibet, Bangladesh. So everything is taken. So this, what is the logic behind n? N is taking the first element of this vector Nepal. Then again next, in the next iteration, it is going and taking the second element, then the third, then fourth and fifth. So till there are elements in my vector, this loop will execute. The for loop will execute. So this is the logic behind. Even if it is a numeric vector, till there are some elements inside the vector, this for loop will execute. Fine. So this is how you can use your for loop. Now let's move on to a bit higher standard. Okay, so a slightly higher standard. So this is how you can use a for loop. I've just shown you a syntax for this. Fine. So now I'm going to go for creating it using a script file. I don't want to run it on the prompt. I'm going to create it on a script file. So what we are going to do? So we know that a very basic program, I want to check whether my set of numbers, I have so many numbers, I want to check whether it is even or odd. So what I can do, first I can create a vector. So I say numbers and I say C of, and I want to create vectors maybe from, sorry, the numbers maybe I say from this 1 to 35, 1 is to 35. Fine. So instead of C of 1 is to 35, you can also make it creating using something else that we will see it. Fine. So now I say numbers equal to C of 1 is to 35. So what does it mean? The vector is created with as a numeric vector starting from 1 and ending with 35, and it is assigned to numbers. Now what I have to do, I have to check whether it is even or odd. So each and every number I have to check. If it is even, I have to print it, it is even. If it is odd, I have to print it, it is odd. So this is the logic on which we are going to work. So I say for I in numbers. Okay. So for I in numbers. So now what happens? Now my I will take my first value for the first iteration. So in my numbers vector, first value is going to be 1. So what is the logic for an even number? For an even number, your remainder should be 0 when you divide it by 2. Fine. So you have to check that condition. So you have to check whether after division you get the output remainder to be 0 or not. If it is not 0, you have to say that it is odd. If it is 0, you have to say it is even. So what is this? This is a condition. So for checking a condition, what you have to use? You have to go with the decision making statement. So I say if statement here, and what I am doing? I am going to take this I value. So that is the first element of my first vector number, and I have to divide it by 2, and I have to get the remainder. I shouldn't get the quotient, I have to get the remainder. So we know that there is an operator percentage which will give you the remainder after division. So I say percentage 2. I divide it by 2, and if it has to be 0, yes, I say double equal to 0. If it is 0, what I have to do? I have to say cat I is even number. Yes, and I use one escape sequence here. Fine. And if not, what I have to do? I have to print it as odd. So obviously I have to have one else statement, and I say else cat of I, and I say is odd number. Yes, fine. So now you can see I started one brace for if, that is ended here. Since there is else, immediately at the ending position I go for else. Open brace for else and close brace for else. Still I have one brace, that is the for loop brace. So after this I am closing it. Yes, fine. So now we are done with this code. So now what we have to do? We are going to execute the code. So I say run all. Now let's see what output we have got. See here. So we have got here, yes. So 34 is even number, 33 is odd number, 32 even, 31 odd. Yes. So it is testing for the entire stuff. If you want, we can see that. Yes, see here, starting from 1. So this was the code. Starting from 1, 1 is odd, 2 is even, 3 is odd. So it is printing till 35. Yes, fine. So this is how you can use your for along with your decision making. That is allowed. Okay, so decision making can be nested within it. It is allowed. So I said there is another option for creating this. So what is that option? You can use sequence. Fine. If you use sequence also, the same kind of vector will be created. So there is one built-in function which we call it as sequence. Okay. So instead of C of and that colon miscellaneous operator, see, you can use a sequence function, that is SEQ. So what is this SEQ? This SEQ is just going to create a numeric vector in a sequence starting from 1 and ending with 35. So this is another function, built-in function, which is available in your R programming, which can help you to create a numeric vector for starting from one position to ending to the other position. Fine. Yes. So this is with your for. So you can also go for combining so many fors. For example, if you have one outer for, you can have one inner for. Instead of if statement here, you can even have for. So that we call it as nested for. So please try it out. Okay. Yes. If you still have any doubts, you can very well contact me. I'll be happy to respond to you. Thank you.